They are probably switching out directors right now because they just came out of a show. Can you let, is Sam in the booth yet? Can you let her know they're trying to call?
Yeah, Sam is. Did you hear what Sam asked?
I can't hear. I can hear them.
Yeah, that looks really
I'm dialed into DC.
You're
1 minute away from the cold open, they're telling me.
She doesn't have them yet, so.
Okay. She said he said they're trying to call her.
Oh, they're trying to call you, Sam.
Right now on the National Weather Desk, extreme storm.
What?
Sam doesn't have anything. Oh, never mind. There we go.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Check.
Right now on the National Weather Desk, extreme storm. 2, 3, even 4 feet of lake effect snow could fall in the Buffalo region.
2 to 3 inches of snow per hour for maybe a 16 to 20 hour period.
People are getting ready in typical Buffalo fashion.
It's not a hurricane, it's not a tornado, it's snow.
We'll also help you understand just how these storms develop.
Is common in the Great Lakes region near what we call the snow belt.
As temperatures plunge and energy prices soar, many people are looking for alternative ways to heat their homes.
It truly is a good way to heat a house.
And the impact global warming may be having on Pacific Ocean marine life.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Emily Gracie. We have a packed show for you on this Thursday, but as always, we begin with the day's big weather stories. And today, that's the storm heading for Buffalo, New York. It may be hard to imagine, but parts of western New York could see 2, 3, even 4 feet of snow over the next few days. It's a result of an intense lake effect snow event, one of the strongest in years. We begin our coverage with meteorologist Scott Hetzko looking at what Buffalo can expect.
It is nearly impossible to give exact values to what we're going to see, but easily the rates of this snow somewhere near the metro of Buffalo. This is Erie County, 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour for maybe a 16 to 20 hour period. So if you do the math, we're looking at several feet of snow. It could cripple the thruway, maybe the airport in the city of Buffalo. It really depends on exactly where this band sets up. If it goes a little further north, the snow in the orange is up here. A little south, obviously further south. Stay right here at the National Weather Desk for all the latest on this eventual lake effect storm.
The storm will close a chunk of the New York State Thruway. A 134-mile stretch will close to commercial traffic this afternoon. Meantime, city officials are preparing to clear residential streets, while local residents are stocking up at grocery stores. We have 2 reports, starting with Maya Skinner.
We've already coordinated assistance with New York State DOT. Their equipment will be on our streets as well, assisting our city personnel, and we thank them for their assistance at this point in time. Also assisting will be the Department of Homeland Security, who has committed equipment to the city as well, so we have them enlisted.
Erie County says crews will clear 1,200 centerline miles of roads for the snowstorm, but will provide additional assistance for the city of Buffalo if requested. County Executive Mark Poloncarz says if forecasts hold up, he recommends private businesses and schools close on Friday.
There are school districts in southern Erie County where a foot of snow does not close the school. We're able to handle that. But in the Buffalo metropolitan region, 3 to 4 feet of snow, at least 3 feet on a Friday, is a sufficient reason to seriously consider closing schools and all activities thereafter.
Shoppers are grabbing everything they need to ride out this weekend's predicted storm.
So we're kind of in a double whammy here. We have people coming in for the potential snowstorms. We also have people coming in for their normal Thanksgiving shopping, which is traditionally a pretty busy time for us anyway. and now we're just getting hit with the snow and also Thanksgiving shopping.
Some residents say snow is just a fact of life here in Western New York.
I believe that this is Buffalo, and you've lived here long enough, you know what goes on. So we had the calm before the storm. It's not a hurricane, it's not a tornado, it's snow.
The storm reminds many of a similar storm in 2014. More than 5 feet fell over areas east of Buffalo. That storm also hit in mid-November. That's not a coincidence because conditions this time of year are actually ripe for lake effect storms. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll explain just how lake effect snow develops. As Buffalo prepares for lake effect snow, southwest Michigan and northern Indiana have already seen lots of it. Some areas have seen nearly a foot of snow, with more in the forecast throughout the weekend. Ashley Dagger from our station in South Bend has more.
From sun up to sundown, southwest Michigan watched as inches of snow fell.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. I mean, the trees, it's gorgeous. I love it.
Places like Berrien County saw more than 10 inches, causing slide-offs and power outages across the area. Indiana Michigan Power reporting more than 6,000 customers were without electricity. In Buchanan, Michigan, 13 inches fell, with a possibility with more on the way.
I'm one who's excited for the holidays, and I want to see some snow, but I hope it doesn't stay that long, but I'm ready for it.
20 miles south made all the difference for travelers driving over state lines.
On the way here, it was a little clearer, then the closer we got to Michigan, it just started pouring down.
The more we drove, it was like, look at the trees. They're gorgeous.
Northern parts of Indiana, like Mishawaka and South Bend, saw flurries throughout the day as day turned to night. That's when the snow began to stick.
Traffic's been slowing down a lot, and I honestly don't like driving in the snow either, so I'm not really too happy about it, but it is what it is.
Winter weather warnings have been issued for multiple counties. Both MDOT and INDOT are asking you to drive responsibly during your travels.
The lake effect snow is a type of snow squall. This happens to be Snow Squall Awareness Week. The National Weather Service is teaming up with states that do experience snow squalls. They really want drivers to understand the threat snow squalls can pose.
In this situation, heavy snow initially melts on warm roads, but that liquid water turns to ice as temperatures fall. Combined with near whiteout conditions from a snow squall, flash freezes produce immediate, extreme, and life-threatening impact on highways.
If you do find yourself in the middle of a snow squall, try not to panic. Gradually slow down, drive at a speed that suits conditions, and increase your following distance.
The National Weather Service says there's no safe place on a highway during a snow squall. If you know one could be coming, consider an alternate route or delaying your travel. And as the temperatures drop around the country and energy costs skyrocket, more and more people are turning to alternative options to stay warm and save money. Let's head to Providence, Rhode Island to find out more.
It's all hands on deck at Bill's Sales in Portsmouth. They're busy working to keep up with the high demand for firewood and wood-burning stoves.
The heat, there's nothing better. It's just nice and warm. You know, it truly is a good way to heat a house.
As energy costs skyrocket, they're seeing more and more people turning to alternative options to stay warm and save money.
It's definitely busier than most years.
Normally, they'd be scheduling deliveries a month in advance, but right now they're booked through January.
It's tough to get it out. It's really tough to, keep, everybody happy.
The boom in business is being felt across the industry. In fact, several told me they were simply too busy to spare 5 minutes to talk for this story.
We are very busy.
Both wood burning and pellet stoves are hot items at Hearthside Fireplace and Patio in Warwick. They say the supply chain is struggling to keep up with the high demand.
We stocked up, so we bought a lot of extra inventory, last year coming into this year to be prepared for this situation.
For those just getting started, there is an upfront investment needed. The stoves cost around $2,000 or more, plus installation and venting costs. Still, in the long run,
both of them have the benefit of reduced cost.
All right, take a look at this video from South Lake Tahoe in the Sierra Nevada. Despite the snow on the ground, bears are still roaming around. This webcam shows a huge mama bear with her cub. A pine cone interests the cub for a few moments, and then he swats it away and catches up with his mother. And take a look at this incredible aerial video of West Fork, Arkansas. This was sent to us from one of our meteorologists by Joel Ledbetter. Clearly amazing drone flying skills here. Arkansas was hit with snow recently. There were even some power outages in the area. The weather has since improved and warmer temperatures are in the forecast for the days ahead. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll show you exactly how lake effect snow forms and how the climate is impacting crab populations. But let's test your weather wit before the break. Which state receives the most snowfall annually? Is it Maine, Wyoming, Vermont, or New York? The answer when we return.
Hi, everyone. I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. We have improving weather today. We'll see brighter skies return, but there's nothing really warm about this forecast. High temperatures today will top out in the 40s. We're starting in the 30s this morning, and many areas are starting with bright skies, but notice some lake effect snow getting going off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Some of those snow showers may make their way into Vermont and New Hampshire. Southern New England and down through northern New Jersey will stay on the quiet side. Temps will be in the 40s with partly sunny skies. The wind will diminish on Friday.
I'm meteorologist Jonathan Myers, and here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. 20s, 30s to begin the day. Up and down the 95 corridor, working it only into the 40s during the afternoon. A good blustery breeze coming in, too, making it feel pretty chilly for the morning and the afternoon commute, even with some sunshine as some Canadian fair weather high pressure builds in and some modified Arctic air takes hold for the middle and end of the week. That's the scene here.
I'm meteorologist Vetus Reed. Here's a look at your forecast highs for today. A cool one out there across parts of the Tennessee Valley, parts of Georgia. Atlanta's 47 degrees for a high today, 50 in Raleigh, Nashville, 44 degrees, and we're seeing 55 in Mobile. You got to get down to South Florida to get into those upper 70s. So definitely a strong cold front that has pushed through the southeast, dropping temperatures. A little morning cloud cover, but we clear out in the afternoon, looking at plenty of sunshine behind this front, but just much cooler temperatures. Bundle up.
All right, before the break, I asked which state receives the most snowfall annually. The answer? Vermont. On average, Vermont sees 89.25 inches of snow per year. Maine was a close second. Now let's check to see the weather in cities around the country today. Let's start in Austin, Texas, where they have morning rain showers with mostly sunny conditions in the afternoon. High today just below 60 degrees. And a look here at Washington, D.C. Sunny skies today, but a little bit chilly with a high of 46. Next, we'll head to Bay City, Michigan, where it is cold. They'll see snow today in Bay City and the high only 37. Even colder tonight when temperatures dip into the 20s. And sticking with Michigan, a look here at Potosi. Petoskey, where they have a winter storm warning in effect. They'll see cloudy skies and snow with a high of only 35 degrees, dipping into the mid-20s this evening. Now, we talked earlier about lake effect snow, but in areas of the country where it doesn't pose a risk, you may be wondering what it is and how it forms. So let's head to Cincinnati, where meteorologist John Gum explains.
Well, as we move through the late fall and into the winter, one thing we start to talk a lot about is what we call lake effect snow. Yeah, it is common in the Great Lakes region near what we call the snow belts. That's where they get all of this lake effect snow. If you live near the Great Lakes, you know all about this. But for those of us who don't, well, let's talk a little bit about how that lake effect snow happens. Of course, as air temperatures get colder late in the fall and into the winter, water temperatures actually lag behind. The water stays warmer because it holds that heat in longer. So we get this difference in temperature between the water and between the land areas. The land colder, the water warmer. Think of the swimming pool. On a cool summer night, that air cools off very quickly, but the pool water stays warmer. Well, the same thing happens along the Great Lakes. So we've got warm water, that warm water containing a lot of energy, a lot of water vapor, and then as cold air moves south out of Canada and passes along that warmer lake water, we get an unstable atmosphere. The colder that air is, and typically at about 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere, you need about a 13-degree difference between the lake water and that air to get this lake effect snow from forming. So as that cold air comes across the warm lake, it picks up that water vapor. We get an unstable atmosphere with these clouds growing vertically in the atmosphere, and all of that water vapor that's picked up, well, it turns to snow. It crystallizes, and then as the winds blow across the lake, downwind from the lake is where we see those clouds deposit the snow. And this snow can be rather heavy. In some cases, you can get snowfall rates of 1, 2, upwards of 3 inches per hour. Those bands of snow are also quite narrow and focused depending on how the wind direction is. So you may see heavy snow in one location, and then you travel a couple miles down the road and it's completely sunny. But as the winds shift, that snow band may go over the area that's seeing sunshine now a couple hours from now, where those locations can get heavy snow. So that's lake effect snow.
All right, Dr. Michael Morgan was recently confirmed by the U.S. Senate to serve as the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Environmental Observation and Prediction. It's a big title and a big role. I recently spoke to him about what he will be doing in this new position.
I provide information to the agency on both observations and prediction. How do we take observations, that's weather, climate, water observations as well, ocean observations as well as ocean species observations, and how do we turn that into predictions?
And what are some of your goals?
Goal number one is, in that prediction capacity, is enhancing our country's capabilities in terms of Earth system prediction. So it's not just the numerical weather prediction part that everyone's familiar with, but a broader theme in predicting the oceans, the atmosphere, cryosphere, and ecosystems. The second area is really in the development of a platform that makes weather and climate data accessible to the public in ways that they can understand and use. That third area is also, which is really important to me, making sure that the folks that contribute to that service, the workforce within NOAA, the diversity of that workforce in NOAA reflects the diversity of the communities that we're serving.
Is there an inequity in that now, and why is that?
I think we can always do better. The New York City area is an example. There are hundreds of different languages that are spoken, hundreds of different groups there, making sure that people can understand the messages that are being communicated so that they can take action to save their lives, their property, and improve their livelihoods.
More on a personal note, you're from Baltimore. Can you give me a little bit about your background?
Just growing up, I fell more and got more entranced about how the atmosphere works. And we had big snowstorms in the late 1970s and early 80s, see the remnants of hurricanes and tropical weather systems moving up the East Coast. All these things really fascinated me. I'm a weather geek, a weather weenie, we sometimes refer. And so I get really excited about weather, get really jazzed about weather. And so I'm just really excited to be in this position. NOAA is a great organization with really dedicated individuals that are really working to enhance our economy, but most importantly, protect lives and property. And that's really great to be part of this mission.
A longer version of this interview where Dr. Morgan talks about how the JPSS satellite will help with these weather prediction goals. That can be found on our YouTube channel. Just search the National Weather Desk. Climate change is having far-reaching effects, from melting polar ice caps to stressors that threaten marine life. Researchers at Oregon State University are working to learn more about how global warming is having an impact along the Oregon coast. Now let's go to Portland, where Nikki Torres has more.
The ocean's changing, and we want to make sure that we know what's coming ahead, and we want to know what are the levers that we might pull now or in the future to make sure that the fishery just stays really productive.
Francis Chan is a marine ecologist. He's on a team of researchers with Oregon State University studying how climate change is affecting Dungeness crab and krill. Chan says both species are facing threats like ocean acidification, low oxygen conditions, marine heat waves, increasing ocean temperatures, and harmful algal blooms.
There are times when a low oxygen zone forms and the crabs will actually suffocate. Sometimes they'll get into the pot, the low oxygen waters envelop a pot, and fishermen will pull up a pot where the crabs have died.
Chan says situations like that one are rare. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is giving researchers at OSU $4.2 million to learn more. The goal for this 4-year study is to examine these stressors and find a way for fisheries to become more climate resilient.
So we were to change where we harvest crab, or when we harvest crab, or what size restrictions we have. Can you pull those levers in a way that makes it even more resilient and more productive?
Dungeness crab is considered the most valuable single-species fishery in Oregon. Finding those solutions to protect crab and krill will be the final step of the study.
Well, much of the country is getting ready to deal with cold temperatures and snow. It can create hazards and dangers, but also be beautiful. Let's take a look at the skies over Lake Donner for some beautiful winter views.
Well, a very good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Your weather story across the Midwest. Some light snow showers. Now, if you're downwind of the Great Lakes, you're going to be dealing with some lake effect snow for the day today, but just staying pretty chilly all across the Midwest. That snow shifts a little bit more to the Great Lakes heading into your Friday, and then Saturday still seeing some lake effect snow, but it's remaining cold. Southern part of the Midwest, at least getting into more sunshine on Saturday. Temperatures warming up some next week.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia, and here's a look at your regional weather. It's downright chilly all the way from Amarillo back over to Little Rock into the 20s. We're seeing 50s along the Texas coast and Louisiana with some showers down toward Brownsville. We'll be watching the high pressure as it pulls out to the northeast with the next surge of polar air heading down toward the south. Showers will continue mainly along the Texas coast. We'll see clouds give way to sunshine today, and that could warm us back up into the 50s. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there, everybody, and a good Thursday morning, too. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, it's still very quiet and in many cases very cold. Temps today won't even make it out of the 20s for afternoon highs around Jackson Hole, making the low 70s back around L.A. and San Diego sound all the more pleasant. As we head into the afternoon, this pretty dry cold front continues to drop down into Salt Lake and Denver, going to bring some snow into the high country of the Rockies as we head into the afternoon. And that's the scene from here.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A blaze through the heavens. Portland meteorologist Rhonda Shelby says these meteor sightings were captured by security camera video earlier this week. This fireball lit up the skies around the Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington metro areas. The American Meteor Society fireball log says there were dozens of sightings around Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Nevada.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
We always get great content from our team of meteorologists. Now it's time to showcase what we see from our viewers around the country. Check out this backyard coating of hoarfrost. This happens on clear, cold nights when water vapor changes directly from a gaseous state to a solid state. This time of year when seasons converge, fall leaves are still persistent in some places, even as snow is taking center stage. And maybe this is Frosty the Snowman's distant sunflower cousin. It almost looks like the flower is snuggling under a blanket of its own leaves to keep warm. I would love to share your weather content on the air. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just search at WX Desk for the National Weather Desk. We'll be right back. Tomorrow on the National Weather Desk, team coverage of the lake effect storm as it's hitting the Buffalo region. Thank you for joining us. Make it a great Thursday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.